All right, so quick disclaimer. As you listen to this video, you're going to notice that the audio for the podcast on my end was super echoey, echoed, whatever. So the reason for that is I decided to use a different platform because I wasn't at the Rollout Studios. We were doing this with a couple different people, and we were all at home. So that was the first thing. The second thing is I was gonna use just my laptop, but the camera on my laptop, not good. Like you can wear all black and it looks burgundy. So I decided to use my phone to record my camera, but given my location, that still didn't come out super clear. You'll notice at the end of the podcast when I go outside, it gets much better. But I did not realize that the echo was so bad until after the whole thing was recorded. I played it back and it was already too late. So I learned it won't be like that the next time. So that's why it was picking up on two microphones from my laptop and from my phone. So unfortunately, I sound doubled over, and I'm still new, so I'm learning how to edit that. It may sound different on the podcast platform if I can figure that out, but it may not. So I do want to give you that disclaimer on why it sounds like that. So if you can get past that, you'll really thoroughly enjoy this talk. It was definitely one that I've been wanting to have for months. I remember telling my friend Heidi this idea probably around like last October or something. And it just, the timing wasn't right. I wasn't ready to be that honest. And then I honestly felt like other people weren't ready, but that was totally my judgment. They were all in. So it was very good. We didn't cover as many things as I would have loved to cover. And Heidi had to leave in the middle, but I definitely want to do another. Preferably over mimosas. Yeah. Alcohol is always good when you have talks like this because it can get emotional. So, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy. Go ahead and make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms, except for Twitter. Jesus, I need to get that together. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram, Shemira, not Shemyra. Obviously, the YouTube channel, make sure you hit that like button. Go ahead, subscribe to the channel. As I start to get more time and build momentum, we'll get more videos out there to everyone. If you like this, go ahead and share it. Hopefully, it's something that sparks conversation amongst other women. Hopefully it brings a little bit of awareness to other men, but I think it might bring some awareness to women who have never gone through this either, because again, as you hear through some of our stories, it was unfamiliar territory for a lot of us. A lot of our the things that we went through. So with that being said, go ahead, keep watching, and thank you for just coming by, listening, and go ahead, leave a comment below as well, and we will get going. So we're back at it, part two of the Mommy podcast. And we're going to be jumping in at Mo giving an example of her birthing experience for her oldest. Um, and see where that leads us. Like I said before, touchy subject, but so worth it. Thanks for listening.
Tell you, they don't talk about those things,
Right.
you know. I mean,
Yeah.
the fluid shift of your body when you're pregnant and everything. I mean, you know, some women have these amazing pregnancies, but you have no idea. Anything can go wrong at any moment.
Yeah.
Baby. And
People
die all the time from childbirth, and they just because it happens all the time, people forget the risk
of that.
Yeah,
of that.
the risks. Yeah.
I almost gave birth to my son. Remember, Shemira?
Man,
talk about it. No, you have, but talk about it on here.
Guys, my phone is dying, and I've got a World War II going on with my kiddos, so I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to cut out. But thank you for the conversation, Shemira.
Thank you.
Bye, Heidi.
Part of it, and keep up the good work, mamas.
Thank you.
Thank
You
you.
too.
And if you can pop back in at any point, we'd love for you too. But I get it.
Okay. Sorry.
That's all right. Love you too.
Bye.
All right.
So talk about your birth with your oldest, Mo.
Well, my whole pregnancy was all over the place. My doctor was a student doctor because UCSF in San Francisco is a training facility for the up and coming doctors. So my OBGYN was a student doctor, and I kept telling him I need this, I've seen so many pregnancies. I know when something's wrong. Don't tell me when something's not wrong. And they kept telling me, oh, I'm fine, you're fine. And I remember it was a Friday, and they called and was like, we did some tests, the test you wanted us to have preeclampsia. We need you to come in right now. I'm gonna come in on Monday because I'm not spending my weekend in there with y'all. So I get there, and they have to induce me now because, of course, I have preeclampsia, which I've already had. Let's just say I was in labor for 3 days. When they induce you, it takes longer for them to, for your baby to come. And I remember in my records, it says I'm allergic to latex. And, technically you're not supposed to push until you're 9 centimeters or 10 centimeters dilated. They had me pushing, I think, when I was 8. I kept telling him, he's not coming. I can't, no matter how much you want me to push, he's not coming. So they were like, okay, well, we're going to give you an epidural, just, so you can stop with the pain. The first epidural, they did it all the way wrong. An epidural is in your spine. So how do you do an epidural in your spine wrong? So they had to come back. They did the second one right, but by the time they did the second one, the first one was taking effect. So I have no feeling down there at all now. So you want me to push on something that I cannot feel anymore. And the doctor was like, okay, well, since you've been pushing, we're going to go and try and maneuver him and pull him out. With latex gloves on because, that's what they had at the time. And I'm allergic to latex. So I immediately had an anaphylactic shock being swelled up around my hand. Heart rate dropped. My heart rate dropped. So I had to get a C-section. And I remember when they wheeled me in, my OBGYN was the one who was doing the C-section. Not the regular doctor who was there, but a student who did my C-section. And I remember being in the hospital after I had my son, and they were like, okay, well, my C-section got infected. I had a blood clot on my uterus. I was in the hospital for 2 months after having my son because of them not having everything, in my record of me being allergic. I'm allergic to injectable ibuprofen, and they gave me that, and my face swelled up after having my son in the hospital.
Negligence, yo. What in the world?
Right.
Wow.
So one person shouldn't go through all of that on their first pregnancy. And I can say I went through all of it. Every little thing, the preeclampsia, the almost dying, the being allergic to stuff, blood clot on the uterus, staying in the hospital for 2 months. I had people coming in and praying for me I hope you get out of here. I had a fever for 2 months straight. Oh, we can't let you leave until your fever goes down. well, then I don't know how long y'all will, like, I guess I'm gonna be here forever because y'all not giving me the right meds, like not the right care. Oh, your son could go home, but you gotta stay. So where he gonna go? Like they literally kicked him out. Where he gonna go? He gotta stay here with me. Like I'm his mom.
That's right.
That's crazy.
And they don't, yeah. When you're like a new mother, they don't say anything to you about all of these complications that can, you know, go wrong. And, you know, you're not ready for it. And to then have, you know, postpartum depression on all of this going on, you're like, yeah, as many times I could actually, you know, sympathize with Shemira about her not making it because I remember one time he was crying and I just wouldn't shut up, so I threw him on the bed like he was crying. And I remember he actually hit the bed and bounced off the bed and hit the wall and hit the bed again. And it was just me sitting there like, you know, as a mother, you're supposed to be like, oh my God. And I'm just sitting there like, and he's still fucking crying.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that was my thought process. He's still crying. He won't shut the fuck up. So I remember laying 2 pillows on the side, or literally locking myself out and calling his dad and was like, you have an hour to get here because he won't be quiet.
So that actually made me think of a story that I remember you talking about, Celeste. Want to talk about that one?
Which one? I'm sorry.
When you were talking about how you were bamming on a locked door at the hospital.
Oh yeah.
When you had just lost it.
I knew I had postpartum with my first one. I wasn't aware that the more children you have, the worse and worse it can get. So with my second one, it actually was a little bit worse. My pregnancy was good. Delivering was kind of a nightmare. Once I got my epidural, they actually hit a nerve when they gave me the epidural, which made me jump while the needle was still inside. And I was paralyzed from the waist down for about 8 hours. Like Mo said, it was very hard for me to push because I couldn't feel anything from my waist down. After I had him, the next 24 hours when I woke up with an excruciating migraine. I've never had one in my life. So they had the anesthesiologist come back to assess me and see what's going on. They came to the conclusion that when they gave me the epidural and they hit a nerve, that some air seeped in through my spine. So they did a blood patch where they drew some blood from my thigh and they went back in and did a reversal epidural, and they pushed blood through my spine to try to clear the air that they felt was exactly. So from that, I actually ended up with a blood clot in my lung. When I went home, my first day home that evening, I called my mom about 11:30 that evening, and I told her I needed her help. At that time, I had a 5-year-old and I had my newborn at home, his first night at home, and I was actually rushed back to the hospital for almost 2 weeks after I had him because of the blood clot. But once I got out of the hospital, my postpartum hit the hardest. It hit so hard where I woke up one morning and I went to my mom and I dropped off both my children to her, and I went to Kaiser banging on the therapist's door until somebody opened the door. Finally, there was a woman that was in there that was able to let me come talk to her, and I just expressed everything to her. They started me on medication. It did take a few weeks for the medication to kick in, but mentally, me knowing that I'm taking this pill that's going to make me feel better, somehow that just it helped me. It helped me so much. But I was in so much desperate to get help that I literally was banging on the doors until somebody answered those doors.
And that's what's scary, man.
Yeah.
It's like you just don't know what to do.
You don't know what to do.
And I don't think people really fully understand what motherhood looks like.
Yeah.
I think that most people have this idea that it's always going to be beautiful. It's just nothing but sunshine and roses. And we don't talk about it enough. That's why I really wanted to do this podcast, because I know we all had
crazy experiences. I know some people that want to breastfeed that can't because they can't produce milk. I know some people that feel like it's the worst thing in the world. Same, pregnancy, but two different ideas on the same thing. So now that we've gone through the pregnancy part, as you started raising your kids, what were some things that you learned during every last one of you guys have one each? What did you learn about the difference of raising a boy and a girl, or raising multiple children? I know, Giovanna, you talk to me, or you talk to all of us about the fact that you have to raise each child kind of different. So,
absolutely.
What are some things you guys want to talk about when it comes to just raising multiple children and raising one of each?
So, you know what? My thing, honestly, I don't even know if it's the gender more than it's just the child or the person, because they're just separate entities. They're just so different, as far as the person. And I don't even know if that has to do with the gender. But, I mean, my mom got a lot of kids. So that's one thing that I honestly kind of knew, is that you have to parent every child differently. Yeah. Just think about you and your sister, Shemira. You know what I mean? Like, you guys are just different, and it's not gender. It's just because you guys are different. You know what I mean? Like, and so my thing is I'm not harder on Caleb because he's a boy and softer on Kiki because she's a girl. I'm harder on Caleb because he's an a-hole, and I'm softer on Kiki because she's an empath. Like, this, you know what I mean? It doesn't have anything to do with him being a boy. He's just a jerk. I'm a jerk. You know what I mean? So, I mean...
Yeah, you two definitely understand each other.
We do. That Aries gang, I mean, But yeah, that's my take on it. I don't even know if it's so much gender more than it's just the person, man.
The person, yeah. Totally. Yeah, I have my daughter's 15, she'll be 16 in November, in her attitude. I pray to the Lord every day for the strength to carry me through. My 11-year-old son, he is the sensitive. I have to be careful yelling at him. My daughter, I yell at her, she looks at me. I look at her, give her that look like,
right.
Him, I just raise my voice, and he's like, So it's definitely, it's the person. It's the person.
Okay.
I'm just adjusting my mic.
And also,
as we talk,
I think when you have like 3, it makes it a little harder, because they also have this like thing where I don't have my own place. Like, I'm the middle kid, or I'm the last kid, or you love this one because they were here first. So you have to parent them according to them.
Got it.
I know, like, my middle kid, she is more of the mommy figure, because she feels she's younger than her brother, but older than her sister, but she has to like overcompensate because she has to stand out, because she's the first, she's the last. So, I have to parent her different. My youngest kid, who is all me, I have to parent her different because she's Monique all the way. So sometimes I have to step back and be like, all right, don't punch her in the face, because she taught, that's you.
Yeah.
And then I have my son, who's like, he's the oldest. So he's the man of the house, because, he's the only guy here. So I got to parent him a whole different way, because he thinks he's the man.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know why middle kids be tripping though, because they like the white stuff in the Oreo. That's the best part. I mean, I don't like it, but everybody else do. I'm just what y'all
What about Oreos and how you just don't do them?
I hate the white part, but I'm just saying everybody else love it. Yeah, but I'm saying that's the best part of the Oreo, right? That's what I'm saying. So why is y'all tripping, middle kids? The white part of the Oreo.
You literally just
right.
When we bought some Oreos, how you hate the middle part.
I hate the middle part.
The thick ones. So
I was speaking in general.
Oh, okay, got it. I only have the one, so it's interesting looking at his personality because sometimes I go, how the heck did you end up like this? Because your dad's
Who
loud,
made you?
I'm loud. Yeah, like, where'd you come from? Like, what is this quiet? Like, he's so peaceful. I remember one day we were sitting in the car and my road rage kicked in and we came to a standstill. This asshole wouldn't move and I wasn't gonna move. So nobody got to go through it. We did this for like an hour. And Kai's like, Mom, just go. Like, what are you doing? I'm like, nah, I gotta blah, blah, blah. He's like so embarrassed and mortified because he just wants to avoid conflict at all costs. And then like I have to fight to get the words out of him because I know when he's emotional, there's things that he wants to say, and I know he needs to say it because it's the quiet ones you gotta watch out for. So I'm like, I don't need you just going off. I remember that happened one day, and again, he is not the violent type at all. So when I pick him up from school and he had punched a wall, I'm like, oh, whoa. We need to figure out
Somebody
what's going
about
on.
to die.
That's just not his
Somebody about to die.
Yeah, so I tell him all the time, especially with the things that we go through now with him being a teenager, I don't understand him. And I need him to understand that because I try and parent from the best way I know, but I have to understand who he is as a kid and what he needs versus what I needed are two different things. So I'm always talking to him like, what can I do to help you? What can I do to communicate with you to make sure that you're understanding what I'm saying to you? Because our languages are just different. And I've come to understand that. And he shuts down when I yell. But at the same time, when I feel like I'm talking to him, I feel like he takes me not as seriously. So, I mean, this is a kid that literally last week I threatened him. I was like, get your shit together or you gotta go. You can go live with your dad. And he didn't want to do that. So he had to figure out what to do with his life and how he needed to succeed. Because I was like, I can't. I'm still trying to nurse myself back to health mentally. And I don't think people realize that, like, as a mom, your job is never over. I don't get to take a day off. None of us do. Like, if you're sick or whatever, and your kids still need something, even when they have a guy in their life, I wish that were a little bit more prevalent on our end. But even when people have spouses that they live with, guys just don't get it. Yeah. So I would love to have like a true day off from mommyhood.
How does that feel?
Right.
I don't know.
When you get it, let us know.
Right. Because even when I'm out on conferences and things, he'll call me, he'll text me, he needs something, and I have a dope support system. Don't get me wrong, but he still reaches out to me because I need to handle X, Y, and Z because I know his teacher is this teacher and this work is due on this day because everybody's just depending on him to do it on his own or him to tell them what they need. And I'm like, he's a teenage boy. He ain't gonna tell you nothing. So you gotta be involved. Ooh, yeah. I want a day off.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Man. So
I'm getting a week off soon when we in Jamaica.
Yeah, I ain't getting a week off. He coming. But
I'm getting a week off. Hold on, let me say. I said I'm
off.
Man. I'm just saying.
That's why I'm like, duty's gotta come so they can do their own thing. So
so they can get out of her face.
Her brother's getting married in Jamaica, so we're headed there for a wedding. So yeah, everybody else is ditching their kids, but see, here's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the parenting in me. Like, he's old enough. Like, I don't want to go to Jamaica and he's not experienced that, but I get some people are just like, I'm going on vacation. I don't want my kid to go. I just feel selfish. That time when I went to Europe for 2 weeks, that was the longest I ever been away from him. And I felt guilty after the first week.
No.
And I still talk to him every day. Still was helping him with his homework. Still making sure he went through stuff. But I felt guilty that I was having this whole experience and he wasn't with me.
Without
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel no guilt at all.
Me either. I never have.
So,
but
letting you know.
She said, "I'm ready."
I
wish these kids all 2019.
I wish I didn't. I really do wish I didn't.
I mean, of course, I would have brought them if it was
feasible, financially
appropriate, and not even that. They can't even stay
we're
on the
gonna
same
be at
resort. Like it's like a lot of, you know what I mean? Like it's a lot of stuff that went into that. Like, of course, I would want them to come. They my homies, but yeah, not this time.
Right.
We're at an all-inclusive adult resort, but I actually found one that's like 15 minutes away that I think we're gonna be staying at, so I can bring Kai.
Okay.
But yeah, like I wish that I wouldn't feel guilty because I shouldn't.
Mike just texted me talking about when you doing a podcast.
Hey,
on it now.
My other cousin hit me up and was like, "So when we doing the next one?" This has become, so just so you guys know, this has become very therapeutic for me because I get to talk about things that are uncomfortable. Everybody has different points of views. And like I've said before, I like having this platform because whether I agree with it or not, everybody deserves the right to be heard. Even if that point's an asshole. I was at a not at a booth like yesterday.
Just saying
that it was like
hear me.
And poop. No, I didn't. But it said
I'm talking to Mo.
What?
Oh.
And she said like an a-hole, and I was like Mo.
Yeah, then I heard
it.
Mo's in her own world.
Exactly.
Yeah, she usually is. We always have to reel her back in.
I'm back.
Okay.
Yo, this will be us on. So we have conference calls twice a week, and we find ourselves doing this with Mo all the time. And you got to say her name and be like, "Hey Mo, did you?" Hey Mo, because she'll just venture off into her own stuff.
Like man, I'll be staring and then y'all be talking, and then for some reason it's like something else is coming, and I'm just like, yeah.
So for all of you guys, your pregnancies were the children that you gave birth to were your only pregnancies, or did you have more pregnancies than that?
Like, did I have somebody else's baby?
What was like was I a surrogate?
No. Well, that could be it. So I have one kid, but I had 3 pregnancies. Some people have like, I have a friend that had like 6, 7 miscarriages. I had 2 abortions. Like, was the kids that you guys have your only pregnancies?
Yes. Well, I mean,
yeah,
I gave birth one of my past, so that count, right? Yeah. So yeah, right.
So that's one thing that I've been struggling with. Recently, more in the last year, as I've been focusing on like my therapy, I didn't realize how those other 2 pregnancies affected me. Not that I would change my decision, because I was 15 the first time, and I was 18 the second time. But I found out I was like 3 months pregnant when Kai was 6 months, 6, 7 months. So yeah, there was supposed to be a back-to-back situation there. So when I changed my decision, I used to think, man, looking at my life now, but then Kai said, "Mom, you can't think about that." And he was right. He's like, your life is the way it is because of everything that happened.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't imagine my life being what it is now with 3 kids, because my thought process would have been different. I'd have been in survival mode, because that's 3 kids before I was even legally able to drink.
Right.
So I definitely don't think some of the opportunities would have presented itself the way they have. And some of my growth has been because of the relationships that I've had in the past. But I don't think, like, if you hear someone's had 2 or 3 miscarriages, immediate empathy. You hear someone's had multiple abortions, 0. It's like you did that to yourself. Unless you were raped or something, like unless the cause was extreme. And as a person who, like, my first pregnancy, I could feel flutters. Like I was 4 months when I had an abortion. That's still a connection that you have with this kid, and you have to choose to let it go. Because I couldn't imagine going through a whole pregnancy and then having to give my kid away. And I give huge kudos to people who are strong enough to do that. I know I'm not. But the stigma that comes with it is ridiculous. And I get it. There are some women who use abortions as a form of birth control.
Right.
But a lot of those women are damaged, and there's other things. There's like behind the scenes stories that need to be dealt with too. And I don't think people factor that in.
Right.
Did anybody ever?
No,
like,
I mean, I agree.
Huh?
I said, I know, I totally agree. It's not normal to just be a whole serial killer to your kids. Like, you know what I mean? There has to be something behind that. That's not even something that we would think would be like a normal thing to continue to do. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of weird after like the 3rd, 4th one. Like, it's kind of weird now.
Yeah. And to this day, when I go to anywhere near the abortion clinic, I realize that I either avoid looking at the building, or I get so lost in the building that I become like frozen, like I'm paralyzed. So it still affects me, and I get it. And I remember one day being in there, and I was just trying to make it seem like it was no big deal. You know, trying to keep up a regular conversation, laughing like it wasn't a big deal, but that was just my way of dealing with it. I remember this one girl came in, I think she was with her mom. And I mean, you could hear her screaming and crying before she even got through the doors. Like, it was just, you can tell she did not.
She probably didn't want to do it.
Yeah, you can definitely tell she didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
I don't remember if she went through with it, because by the time I went into my appointment and came out, I didn't hear her. I didn't see her. That I don't know if that meant she was in another room or if she left. But I'll never forget her scream, and I'll never forget that cry. And I think people don't realize that it's a big decision to make, and a lot of us don't make it lightly.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think in most cases, like, people really do. I mean, I would hope they didn't, but I mean, I don't know. It's just hard. Like, I don't know that that's something that people are just like willing to do. Like, you know what I mean? I want to get pregnant and then just to have an abortion. I don't ever think it's something that they sought out to do. You know what I mean? It's just the circumstance comes, and that's the optimal option for you at that particular time. But I will go back to this for you, Shemira. So I think about, like, at first, after I lost Exodus, it was like really, really, really hard. You know, obviously, it's hard to lose a child. So, but I always think to this day, if that didn't happen, I wouldn't have got Caleb and Kiera. So it's not that you didn't want, of course, you know, you want your child to live, but like, how different would it have been if that didn't, because then I would not have gotten Caleb and Kiera. And then the same for you. So for instance, if you wouldn't have went through with the first one, there possibly couldn't have been a Kai.
Right. I tell Kai that all the time.
So,
like, he came on purpose. Like, that was, if it weren't for that pregnancy and what I went through that, like, I definitely wouldn't have had it. We got pregnant again because I was like, I didn't want to do that. But that was the best decision I could make as a 15-year-old kid. And it wasn't that 17 was that much older. But he definitely came out of that decision.
Yeah. And I feel like it's, you know, divine timing. You know what I'm saying? It's like right time, right place. And I feel like sometimes we don't respect that. Like, we get caught up in our own feelings about what could have been, but it's like, would you really want to lose like him? You know what I'm saying? To sacrifice something that you don't even know what it would have been.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? So that's how I always think about it. Like, because I don't even know what I would do without Ugly and Kiera, you know? Like,
I hate that you just said
so
that.
that's how. But that's how I think about it. And I don't know if I say that to make myself feel better or if that's just the reality of it. But I just know if that wouldn't have happened, I know that for a fact, because I wouldn't have moved to Virginia. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot of stuff that goes into that. I know that I wouldn't have the kids that I have now.
Yeah.
Sorry, my mic just fell out, so give me just a second. I'm here to reconnect it. It fell out at the most opportune time. There we go. Okay. Let me switch. Yeah.
I'm looking at Mo.
Yeah.
I know.
I'm looking at Mo and that gay.
I know.
Now,
Yo, I swear she be sleep with her eyes open. Like she was just
I'm telling this. These men say them put me on. These motherfuckers is wrong.
Yeah, I remember. You were just telling me about that today.
So what's one good advice that you guys got from anyone? Your hair look cute.
Your hair look cute. You still look cute.
What's one good piece of advice?
That you guys got from
about mommyhood?
About mommyhood.
Well, mine goes back to what I said earlier when you know, you have to parent each child differently. Like it's not going to be the same handbook. Like Kiera's in English and Caleb was written in Japanese. So it's just a different handbook, you know?
That's true. That's really true.
But what's one piece of advice that you guys got from everyone or anyone? I heard you, Kayvana, but go ahead with everyone else.
I don't know. That's a good question.
I'm a wrecking ball. I ain't got no good advice for nobody. Don't get no advice. Don't take no parenting advice from me.
I'm a wrecking ball. I came in like a wrecking ball. One good piece of advice that I got was from my older cousin. She's passed away now. She's in my mom's generation. One thing that she told me when she found out I was pregnant, she said very clearly, don't let nobody tell you nothing. There's nothing wrong with you having this baby. You can do whatever it is you want to do. And if anybody got a problem with you having a baby at 17, tell them to call me because I've been through it. I already know. And she graduated early from Mac before they moved to LA. She went to UC Berkeley at 16, 17, and she was pregnant with her oldest kid and was married. So she's like, yeah, don't let nobody tell you no stupid shit. And I still, to this day, like, I still hold on to that. Because of her, I went to school. I was full-time in school and trade school, which I didn't finish, but it had nothing to do with him. It was just, I was struggling at the last bit. But I never thought that I couldn't do it. I just didn't, because I didn't realize her age when she had her first kid. I didn't realize the accomplishments that she had with her first kid, graduating from college and going, you know, her husband at the time was traveling a lot, so she was with her, you know, her kids alone a lot and still in school. So once I had that talk with her, I was like, I can do this. Like, that's when I realized I'm good. I'll be fine. I'll figure it out. It ain't gonna be perfect, but I'll figure it out. But yeah, she called me. Everybody found out I was pregnant when I was like 4 months, and she called me immediately and gave me that pep talk before. And it was nice too, because she gave me that pep talk right around the time everybody else found out. So she kind of got in front of everybody. So it was no way that nobody was going to get a chance to give me any negativity, because she was the first one to hit me with all the positive shit in the world.
Yeah.
So yeah. I hope. I just realized that my whole thing just shut down. I hope it recorded. I know it
It's still
recorded. I
showing
just
that's a
hope it
It
saved.
recording
says
right now.
record, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah,
been
but that's
recording the
because
whole
it's on my
time.
phone.
Oh,
No, it
you're
was
talking about the
recording on my
laptop part.
laptop. That just shut down because it died. So yeah, we'll find out. If not, it's been
Next
fun all the
next
way. We
time
can
we'll
always
do
do it
it.
again.
Next time we'll do a double record. Like somebody else will record it at the same
That's a good
time. That way
idea.
we don't have this issue.
Yeah. Or the next time I'll just plug in my laptop. I'm
Right.
not far from
That
a plug. I
part.
don't know why I
Right.
didn't do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that was good. Brilliant. Great advice.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, because I hadn't used it all day, so I thought I had like a good full day worth of time on it. So whatever. What's
That's why you don't
one
get
bit
paid
of
to think.
advice that I don't? That's why I have y'all around me. It's exactly why. Because it don't always work out well. Sometimes it works really well. Sometimes it doesn't. What's one bit of advice that you want to leave for your kids?
Oh.
You mean when I'm gone or when I'm older? Like
Whenever.
And in regards to parenting?
Yeah. What is this in regard to?
Anything. So one thing that, like I tell Kai all the time, is he can do whatever it is he wants to do. Don't let nobody tell you nothing about what you can. Don't let nobody give you limitations. But that's just things that I learned through parenting him, and starting to live a life that I want. So what would be one thing that you guys could leave for your kid that you've learned just in your time of having kids?
I mean, my advice to them is that there is no exact path. So for instance, you want to go to college, cool. You want to be an entrepreneur, cool. You want to be a doctor, cool. You know what I'm saying? You gay, cool. You know what I'm saying? Like you're atheist, cool. Like it's no exact path. So I don't limit them. I mean, I structure them in a way that they can make their own choices and that those choices are going to be acceptable. I mean, because the world is going to judge them and you know what I'm saying? And the world is going to beat them up anyway, but I don't want that to come from me. Yeah. So I allow them a lot of freedom in their thoughts and in their choices because again, the world going to judge them. They don't need to get that from me. So my advice to them is just be you in any facet, in any capacity.
Who got next?
For me, let me see.
Fresh.
Right?
Well,
for me, I just
like the background got loud, so I had to move.
I just tell them, you're gonna have your own goals. You're gonna have your own way of how you're gonna want your life to be, but just always know to continue to push forward, never give up. To me, it's so hard with today's generation. They give up so easily. It's really sad. It's sad to hear. It's sad to watch. And that's one thing that I try to install in my two children, is just don't give up. Don't give up because you'll get to where you want to be. It takes time, it takes dedication and hard work, but don't give up.
Absolutely. With this little weak generation.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, with this generation,
lazy.
It's just like everything in their mind, everything's supposed to come so quickly. Yeah. And they like social media makes
just like Fortnite.
Feel like everything makes them feel like you can just you see somebody successful and it just happens overnight.
Instant gratification.
It doesn't work that way.
They don't get the full story.
It's not like and it's not like there's people out there that's telling the full story.
Right.
I know, like on my professional social media, I've been trying to figure out how to tell the story of entrepreneurship in the most honest way possible because this shit ain't easy. that feast or famine stuff, and I've been struggling with it for years. And luckily, I've always surrounded myself with people who just don't give up and just push through. So I've been learning little ways to switch it up. But yeah, it's not easy. And I'm thankful for having the support system I have. Like, I don't know. And actually, I talked about this in my podcast, but Mo helped me through part of that. Look, you say I say her name and she focuses again.
But, hey, you know when a kid be asleep in class? And they're like, Mom, she's like, oh, what? Oh, the answer is me.
Because, man, like the expectations versus reality it's so different. And there's nobody out there that's, they just glamorize the end result, but you don't see the sleepless nights. You don't see the procrastination. You don't see when people, you know, have living in their cars or, you know, moved back home or whatever to stack money. Like, they don't talk about none of that stuff. So that's another reason why I like having this platform, is because it gives me a chance to talk about little things as much as I can when it comes to whatever the relevant topic is. And then also kids nowadays too, like, I don't understand what it's like to be a kid in this generation, because if you fuck up, it's forever.
Forever.
All the dumb things that we have done when we were younger, I'm so glad there wasn't the internet back then, because I don't have to be reminded of it unless it's somebody telling the story.
Hey, remember that one time?
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Everything's caught on social media. It's so true. Yep.
And a good, bad, or indifferent. There's the girl whose rape is forever going to be on the internet.
Yep.
And that is crazy to me.
Yep.
So I when I talk to Kai, that's why I tell him, like, I don't understand you. I don't understand what you're living through, because it's different. But I know that it's different. How can I be supportive?
Yeah.
Because it's a learning curve for me too.
Yeah.
And I worry about that. Like, you know, where we live, it's a bunch of teenagers dying around here. You know, we just had one little girl that got into a car accident because it was raining, inexperienced, hit a tree, and her little sister was in the car with her.
Yep.
The other kids that was it 5 kids in the car, where 2 of them were seniors and went over the freeway because one was drinking and driving.
Yep.
I think they were racing.
2 kids gone. No, these ones weren't racing.
It was one in. Is it the one where they crashed by like Walmart?
No.
Walnut Creek.
No, that's the other one. This one was like Walnut Creek on the way back here.
Okay.
They literally, their car went off the freeway.
150 feet.
Yeah. Drop.
Look at the poor children, the 2 girls that just took their own life, that were part of that shooting at the school.
Yeah.
What is up with that?
The second one took her life yesterday.
That's crazy to me.
I don't watch TV. I ain't been on social media in a couple of days.
Okay.
What is that?
Look, no, so she's saying catch her up because she don't know.
I don't know.
Oh. So there was a shooting in February of 2018 at a high school, and 17 people were killed and 50 were shot. Parkland shooting. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And last week, they reported that one of the gals that survived killed herself. And this morning when I woke up, another one that survived as well did it yesterday.
We don't deal with mental health stuff in general in this country in general, because, I mean, you think about veterans, but then when you factor in, you have young people going through traumas, and they're still trying to process puberty and all the other feelings, plus going to school with other teenagers. Like, I worry about that. Like, as a mom, I genuinely worry about that. That's why I used to go through his phone. I still go through his phone sometimes, but, you know, he's on punishment, so he don't get it. So I don't have to go through nothing. I'm still going through your phone. I pay that bill. And I want to know. Yeah, I want to know what's going on with you or the people around. And a lot of times it's not that I'm worried about him, because we have a pretty honest relationship. He just got his STD checkup the other day. And you know how you got to be in the waiting room while the kids, now that Yeah. So the doctor came out and he says, well, he says I can share this with you, so come on in. So we sat through the rest of his doctor's appointment with him. So it wasn't an issue. He has no problem with telling me things, but I don't know what's going through the kids that he surrounds himself with.
Yep.
That can affect him, but that also, what if some kid is going through something and we can help?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that worries me.
Yeah.
And kids have phones way younger now. So that Momo challenge, I'm just like, what? Why? How does that even work? Like, why aren't they on a book? But you go places all the time and you see little kids with tablets and they're just on YouTube.
Yep.
That worries me. That really worries me.
And see, we didn't have this growing up.
Huh?
Yeah, we didn't have that. We didn't have that growing up. So we were faced with a whole different challenge of raising our children because we weren't able to raise them how we were raised. It's totally different now.
It is. That go outside and play thing. I was thankful when our kids were late with the phones and stuff. I really feel like, because they would go outside and play. I can have them come over to the house. We had projects, crafts. They were good with that.
Yeah.
So it luckily for us, it happened a little bit later, but still, once it creeps up on you, you're just like, okay, what do I do next? What do I do? Then they go off to high school and, they have their own friends. They want to go out and do stuff. I worry all the time when he hangs out at the mall with his friends, because I'm like, where's your wallet? Do you have your ID on you? Like, I don't want no issues with anything. And that wasn't something I was prepared for. I didn't think about that. And now I've had to explain to him, when you are 20 minutes late, I'm freaking out. And now that's one thing I definitely get. When you're younger, like,
your mom and it was
20 minutes late, like, what's the big deal? Now
you have nowadays you have something in your hand where you can contact me. So I don't want to hear about I was doing this, I was doing that.
Exactly.
We had to search for cell phones to call you.
No, we had a
payphone.
Yeah.
And how to call collect. What do you mean?
Or call collect. And what's your name? Hey, Mom, it's me. I'm running late. Click.
I'm okay. Yep.
Because I don't want to hear your mouth about having to pay for the collect call.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, they got it way easier. So there's no reason why you can't call me and tell me why you late.
Right.
None.
At all.
And I'm freaking out like every minute that goes by. And I remember being my freshman year, I was at Castlemont, and it didn't hit me then because, of course, I didn't have a kid at that time. But one of the girls in my class, one of the officers, she did. She was like 16. Her daughter was going to the child care that we had at our school then. And I remember we had said the same thing, and she's like, you don't understand when your kid goes missing. And I didn't, because I was just a freshman, none of that stuff mattered. I was just a kid myself. But now I'm like, I get when people are freaked out. I understand 110% why. When Kai used to ride his bike to go off somewhere by himself, I was always like, call me when you get there. And I still do that.
Yeah.
Who you going with? What's their parents like? You ain't getting in the car unless I know who they are. Like, you can have a life. I just need to, I'm not going to be out of it. I need to know who you're hanging around with.
There's too much going on nowadays.
Yes. That's why I'm a big fan of Kai having gun safety too. I'm good with him operating a gun, because if you're ever in a situation where you can disarm somebody or you can literally disable a gun, please do it, because that one little tidbit of information may save somebody's life. So I'd rather you know what to do and have that in your back pocket versus nothing at all, because it's normal. This is the new normal. Like the earthquake drills that we had when we were little, this is their version of
gunshot drills. They have gunshot drills.
This is their normal. Like ours was just what do you do when you hear the earthquake? You get under the desk. Dumbest thing ever.
Right. Who made that up, first of all?
I don't know, but that was what we went through. Now to think about what the kids now have to go through, it's definitely different, and it's worrisome.
Yeah, it is very.
Yeah. Well, I definitely want to thank you guys for being a part of this. I'm sorry I'm outside and I just happened to see like a big thing of shit in the yard, and I don't know where that came from. So gross.
Somebody let their dog loose.
Yeah, they did, and it's squished too. So they must have squished it. they did the lawn yesterday. So yeah, it's gross. But thank you guys so much for being a part of this. It was really touching to hear some of you guys' stories. I know it was really brave of you guys to talk about some of your stories because I know they're not easy to tell. And I thank you for trusting me to put it on this platform and put it out there for other people to be able to use and learn from and grow from. So I look forward to doing this again.
I love it.
Me
and
too.
You know what? In the long run, this can actually help somebody out that might be watching this video and see that they're not alone, you know? So
yeah.
it's really a blessing to be able to do this.
So Can you guys all do me one big favor too after this is all done? Just take a selfie because I'm going to post it on my podcast social media so I can say this is the talk that's going to be coming. Yeah.
I'm not selfie ready. Could I use it yesterday?
We can
use the filters, right?
You can use whatever filter. You can even use a picture from another day. You can just send me whatever nice picture that you got of yourself. How about that? And that's what I'm going to post. You know these stars don't be using the picture for their current day. They use
I'm gonna look a little different from the picture from now. So
it might be a little airbrushed. Yeah.
Exactly. I might have a tan.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I'm using my picture from the other day, so it's cool. And it definitely has a filter on it.
Okay.
Same hat, same lipstick because I liked it, but yeah, it's a filter for everything else. I was trying to. This is the third time I put on this lipstick without putting a lighter color on top of it because my cousins have been like trying to remind me to be. It's okay. It looks cute. Be bold. Be different. So
I love it.
With it. Thank you. Lip Bar. Yeah. It's that black-owned company that was on Shark Tank that the white dude called a bunch of roaches. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
This is her brand.
Got you. I like it.
Like it stays on. It stays on for a while. Like stays
Ooks
on
good.
for a while.
Wow.
I like it a lot.
Like it only came off a little bit. And I was really
advertisement.
Right?
Oh, you're right. My bad.
You're not getting paid to advertise them.
I'm not. My bad. All right.
Gonna put out an affiliate code and whatnot. Dang.
I know. See, one day it's gonna be big enough where I'm gonna start having affiliate codes. All right, Mo, you look like you frozen. Hi.
I'm not frozen.
I know. All right, thank you guys so much for your. She is.
I was paying attention though.
She was.
I know. She was. She definitely was. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks so much.
Bye, guys.
Bye. And